Welcome to the Sports Reverends podcast. My name's Dan.
My name's Drew.
And we are the Sports Reverends. I know we've been away for a little while, but we're back. We're excited to talk about a bunch of different sports. Drew, why don't you kick us off with a little bit of congratulations to the MLB champs.
Yeah, a little congratulations to the Washington Nationals, first time ever champs. Congratulations to all those faithful Montreal Expos fans. I know they never got a championship there, but now they have one. Sort of the year of first-time champions with the MLB, NHL, and NBA. But nobody really cares about baseball, so we'll move on from that.
It was the lowest watched Game 7 in MLB history.
Yeah, it was a good one, though.
I didn't even watch it.
I know you didn't, but it was actually a good watch. First time ever in any sport that the road team won every game in a 7-game series.
Yeah, it's pretty special.
Yeah.
Let's get into some NFL, Drew. Tell me a little bit about your NFL power rankings, maybe some surprises. What do you think?
Yeah, it's been a fun season so far. But power rankings, obviously, we got to start with the New England Patriots. Yeah. Just look like they're going back to the Super Bowl without any competition. 49ers, big surprise up there. I got them as number 2. I got the Saints at number 3, Packers number 4. And this was a tough one, but I think I'm going to put my Seahawks. Well, not my Seahawks. Everybody's Seahawks up there, number 5.
Drew, hey. I think you got the right 5. I just don't think you got the right order. I'm putting the 49ers at number 4.
At number 4. They're 8-0.
They're 8-0. They also have a super weak schedule. I'm going to move the Pack up to number 2.
Well, thank you.
I know you love your Packers, and Aaron Rodgers is a machine.
How about Aaron Jones?
And Aaron Jones. Okay, go tell the world about your Aaron Jones.
Oh, I wrote an article at the beginning of the year, debating whether or not Aaron Jones was a top 10 running back, and I put him up there. I thought he was going to be top 10, if not top 5, and sitting right now looking like a good pick.
And I will eat my words.
Running back.
I'll eat my words because I was a doubter of Aaron Jones, but he's killing it. He's a solid. They have 2 good running backs, hey? So
yeah, and he's looking like their best receiver right now too, Aaron Jones, with Devontae Adams out.
Yeah, once Devontae Adams back, that offense is going to be humming. The only question I have about is their run defense, which when it comes to playoff time, that's the biggest question, right? But we're not there yet, so maybe they'll turn it around, figure it out. Have to keep the Patriots number 1 for sure. Their defense is just lights out.
It's ridiculous. You can't pass on them. You can't run on them.
It's not about Tom Brady. It's about their defense, which is, I don't think Tom Brady's really had that kind of weapon before, an amazing defense. So, and then Seahawks. I'm going to keep them number 5. I think I'm a believer in the Seahawks. I'm choosing them to win their division over the 49ers when the season's done.
Okay.
All right, there's my
then
top 5.
You got 5. Saints number 3 then?
Yeah, Saints number 3. Saints, I am blown away by how well they've done in the absence of Drew Brees. Teddy Bridgewater kind of showed how he's better than a game manager, going 5-0, keeping them on top of the NFC South. I think they have a really quality shot at a Super Bowl run this year because of Teddy Bridgewater. And the fact that no one tried to pick up Teddy Bridgewater before the trade deadline is a travesty.
It's just crazy.
I'm also surprised. AFC, I know they're not my top 5, but surprised with the Indianapolis Colts. I thought when Andrew Luck was retiring, I thought
it was over.
Toast. Jacoby Brissett is more than a game manager. I wouldn't call him elite yet, but the mix of their defense and their offensive weapons there, they're in the toughest
Yeah.
division in the AFC. But
Yeah.
right now, biggest surprise for me in the AFC, Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, great offensive line too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought my biggest surprise was the Buffalo Bills, and I started to get on that train a little early. I told you they were going to beat the Patriots, and they didn't.
Yeah.
But I think they're still sitting pretty good to get into the playoffs as a wild card team. But they got a pretty tough schedule coming up.
Yeah, they have a tough road ahead, that's for sure. Um, any any specific player stand out for you for in the NFL?
Yeah, well, I have as I think Aaron Jones was up there, but
Yeah,
DJ Chark has been a huge, huge surprise standout for
yeah,
Jacksonville.
he's money.
Um, I actually had him auto drafted onto my fantasy team, and I'm loving it. He's one of my top receivers.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah,
which I have
he's
to also eat my words because you did beat me in both of our fantasy leagues.
yeah, and I
Uh,
think it's also the year of the backup quarterback too. Like we
oh
saw
my
Teddy
goodness.
Bridgewater, Gardner Minshew, Jacoby Brissett, like just teams
I am on the
stepping up.
Minshew magic, man. I
Hmm.
think he's fantastic. He's a not only a fun personality, but he's solid, man.
Yeah,
Uh,
and also even Kyle Allen has he's done pretty well.
yeah,
Uh, they got blown out last game, but that's by the 49ers who are looking pretty solid. I think they're for real.
there's talks that he's gonna just continue with the starting role over Cam. So
Yeah,
I think
well,
that
I think he makes less mistakes. He threw 3 picks last game, but overall he's been pretty more accurate than
yeah,
Cam. Cam has the more deep. He's got the more upside, but um, they feel like Cam makes more mistakes and a little
yeah.
more reckless.
And if Cam Newton is not 100% healthy, he's not as dangerous as what he normally is. When he
Yeah,
can't move out of the pocket, he's like you said, not very accurate. So
yeah, he's not a good pocket quarterback. He needs that dual threat. Like,
he's gotten better, but
yeah,
he's not the dual threat when he's not healthy. So maybe they're just holding
yeah,
out till he's fully healthy, eh? So
yeah. And
I
Daniel
think he's
Jones. Daniel
yeah,
Jones has been good too, stepping up for the Giants.
the Giants, I hate to say it, they have their franchise quarterback. Um, put franchise quarterback, franchise running back. Defense
Tight
is
end.
not horrible. Yeah, franchise tight end. They're going forward. They're in a good spot.
Yeah,
OBJ's regretting leaving, I think.
yeah, yeah. And I think the big surprise too is just how good the NFC has been. Like
Yeah,
it, there's really not too many teams in the NFC out of it at this point. Um, and a lot of NFC teams making like I think in the top 10 it's mostly NFC teams.
yep, definitely. NFC's heavy, 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 heavy.
Yeah.
AFC is just top heavy. Okay, we're gonna jump into some basketball now. We'll probably get back to a little bit of football in a bit, but basketball. Give me your top five contenders in the NBA right now, barring all the injuries, barring their schedules. Right
Yeah.
now, top five, whole
Yeah,
NBA.
well, this is way too early, but
Yeah,
I'll give you my top 5 power rankings of NBA teams. I got the Clippers, obviously they're just even even with load management and everything, I think they just got a deep team, deep bench, and they don't even have Paul George yet, and
just
I think
ridiculous.
they're just going to run away with everything. Milwaukee Bucks, again, deep team, play defense.
Easy conference.
Denver, yeah, yeah, East is a joke still,
Yeah,
and Denver is my third team. I love the Joker. Murray is still getting better. And I think they have a very deep team. You never know who's going to go off for 20, 30 points on any given night.
yeah.
76ers, good young team. I think they need to get some more shooters on that team, though.
Yeah,
Losing JJ Redick is going to hurt them more than they realize, but I think they're still playing in the East. Good chance there. And then Utah is my surprise pick in the top 5. Great
Utah.
defensive, great defensive team. Rudy Gobert, you don't want to go in the paint with him. And Mike Conley has been one of the most underrated point guards, in my opinion.
Definitely.
Yeah, solid point guard, can shoot, can distribute,
I
and
think
yeah.
the growth of Donovan Mitchell during Team USA, even I think there's a lot of growth there. I think
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna have a good year. I'm a Spada believer, so he's good.
Who's
My
in your
top
top
five.
5?
My top five. Definitely Clippers, barring health. I think they run away with it this year.
Yeah,
But obviously that's my biggest concern. I don't know, can Kawhi and Paul George stay healthy? If I think they need them both for them to win.
yeah.
Um, as deep as they are, but Clippers are right now number one. Power rankings. This isn't really true power rankings because power rankings go with according to how their record is. We're just
Mm-hmm.
doing contenders really because the Clippers they've already have 2 losses, but I would still say they're everyone's favorites at this point.
Yeah,
I'm going with the Lakers too. Um, who Anthony Davis dropping 40 and 20 last night in 3 quarters is pretty special. They're going to be pretty deadly. LeBron James is looking pretty healthy. The return of Kyle Kuzma, rolling with the Lakers still. Bucks, because they're in the East, the Bucks and Philly, I have them in my top 5. They both are so talented, and the East is so weak
yeah,
that it comes down to those two. So I have them contenders in my top 5. There's probably a few teams like Denver. I love your pick at Denver. I don't have them in my top 5, but Denver, if they're in the East, for sure they're right there.
yeah.
My 5th pick, my surprise pick, is the Rockets. I'm a believer in Westbrook and Harden gelling. They're they're the definition of Rockets. I think Russell Westbrook is like he's a missile, and him being on the Rockets, deferring to James Harden, they're going to be pretty deadly come playoff time. James Harden doesn't have to have all the pressure on him, not like an aging Chris Paul who's struggles and everything now.
Yeah,
Westbrook's gonna, I think, already has deferred to Harden, and it's gonna be good for them. I'm a Rockets believer.
yeah. My only problem with your top 5, I know you're a Lakers fan, but that team is
I've
just so
renounced my Lakers fans. I've
okay.
renounced it.
Okay,
I
but
ever
I
since
just
they
feel like
sucked.
that team is too top heavy. Like once you get past Davis and James, like probably the best like duo in the
Combo.
NBA. Like
Absolutely, yeah.
just who do you have? Like Danny Green, like
Danny Green, Kyle Kuzma, Avery Bradley, Rajon Rondo's coming back.
yeah. I guess yeah. I just
Caldwell
think you need
Pope
more
is
than that.
trash.
Like if you look at my picks, I'm looking at teams that have
Depth.
the yeah, the biggest depth. They're not like I know he said barring injury, but these are teams that can withstand injuries, right? So
True. That's very true. To me, I just if Lakers have LeBron and AD healthy, how if I just it's very hard to stop that. I don't know
yeah.
how you stop that.
Kawhi Paul George. I think that's their toughest test there. But we both
Yeah,
have them number 1.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay, we got our top 5 contenders. We all know and heard the news of Steph Curry breaking his left hand. What's next
Yeah.
for the Warriors, Drew? What do you think?
Well, if we can rewind the tape, I believe I said that the Golden State Warriors weren't going to make the playoffs regardless, um, which you laughed at me about. But I think now we can safely say they're probably going to be one of the worst teams in the league.
Oh, it's pretty safe. Oh, pretty
Yeah,
safe to say. With
Yeah,
with Steph Curry playing in that first quarter, they were down 27 to the Suns.
yeah. I still think they would have been one of the worst teams, even with Steph. Like, there's no depth on that team anymore. Um, yeah, D'Angelo didn't seem like a great fit for them, and you can't count on Draymond to be playoff Draymond during the season. He's a different.
He's not a scorer, right?
He
He's not a
averages eight
scorer.
points. Like,
Yeah,
if
he
you
does
ask him to
the.
be a scorer, he's not going to be able to do that.
That's right. So what's
But
next?
I think what's next for them is they just gotta. I think they're still in a good spot because going to next year, you have a healthy Clay, healthy Steph. Hopefully, I think they can trade D'Angelo. I think they'll do that this year
Yeah, he's not a
because
fit. He's definitely not a
they'll
fit.
definitely not a fit. But I think that's why they got him is to. I think they wanted to fill the void for Clay Thompson till he got back, hopefully mid-season. Flip D'Angelo for some depth, and I think they can still do that. Flip D'Angelo maybe for a draft pick, uh, and a couple role players. I don't know what you could get. Teams get pretty desperate around trade deadline, and I think D'Angelo will be one of the best trade chips that they have. So I think going into next year, they'll be able to build another team that can contend in the West.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think everyone sort of saw the writing on the wall at the end of the Warriors dynasty.
I think I'm 100% with you on that. It is eerily. This eerily reminds me of the San Antonio Spurs back in 19. This is like 2 decades ago now. 1994 when they had David Robinson. They had 62 wins. The next year they had 59 wins. Then David Robinson gets hurt. They win 20 games. They get the number one draft pick, which is the guy named Tim Duncan, and we all know the story from there. I'm kind of predicting a similar kind of scenario with the Warriors. Perfect. It's almost a perfect situation because Draymond, Clay, Steph all have had 5 seasons of 100 games plus.
Yep.
Good rest for them. Like you said, use D'Angelo for some trade bait, pick up some pieces. I like the pickup of Willie Cauley-Stein. I think they keep him. Um, and then they go from there. If they can get that, their draft pick is supposed to be with the Nets, but it is lottery protected. So they're definitely going to hit the lottery. So that means they're going to get their draft pick back from the Nets. And maybe they hit the lottery with another Tim Duncan kind of player. I think they're going to be pretty deadly going forward. They have that core, that championship core. Once they're
Yeah.
healthy together, they're going to be a
Yeah,
team to be reckoned with for sure.
and not saying that Draymond's not a great player, but he's a great player when you have him as your third, fourth, fifth option. Like
Yeah.
he's a he's not a great defender anymore. He's a good defender for sure, and can knock
And he
down the
can defend
occasional
multiple
shot.
positions, which is
Yeah,
nice, right?
he can almost defend 1 through 5 if you
Yeah.
need him to.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think Steph and Clay, that's one of the best combo duos at guards for sure.
Best
Now,
snipers in the game.
yeah, two of the best shooters the league's ever seen.
Yeah, all
And
time.
yeah, and with the way the league is played now, you need shooters, and that's my always been my knock against Westbrook too, is that his shooting has regressed as time has gone on, as the league has moved more towards 3-point shooting.
Yeah.
He's sort of moved, like, he still takes a lot of 3-pointers, but he's one of the worst
He
3-point shooters in the league.
This season he's hitting in the mid 30s, which is good enough.
Good enough.
But you're right, his track record is under 30%. So, but if he can stay in that mid 30 range, I'm telling you,
Yeah,
keeps him honest, right?
yeah,
Drew, can we jump back to NFL for a little bit?
yeah, for sure.
Tell me some of the biggest trade deadline mistakes, or if you want me to go first, I can do that too.
Yeah, I think you got a good one with your hometown Cowboys.
Yeah, the Cowboys. I wanted to save that one just because it hurts. A chance at Jamal Adams,
Yeah,
arguably the best safety in the NFL. All the Jets wanted was a first and a third. The Cowboys were willing to give the first, but not a third. They were going to give a fourth. Like, why aren't you pulling that trigger, Jerry Jones? You're the
yeah,
guy who talked about spending to get what you need.
yeah. It seems a little nitpicky especially for Jerry Jones, who's been willing to pull triggers like on the Amari Cooper, giving away a first for that,
Yeah,
and
exactly. That one cuts
see,
deep for sure.
and yeah, and it looks like their defensive front is solid. They got good linebackers, good defensive line. They just need some help on their secondary, and it looked like a perfect fit. Yeah, I didn't understand that either.
Just, I have no idea. Maybe he has something in the draft that he's really thinking about. But like you said earlier when we were talking, you don't, you're not going to get better than Jamal Adams in the draft. I don't think so.
Yeah,
That one's
my
mistake by the Cowboys.
mistake. Yeah, my biggest mistake is the Bears not doing something about their quarterback situation.
Oh,
Um, whether that be Teddy Bridgewater, who proved that he's the best backup in the league for sure, and probably should be a starter in the
yeah,
NFL.
absolutely.
Um, or even Nick Foles coming back from injury, probably. They look like they have their future quarterback in Minshew, and I think
Hmm.
Nick Foles would have been an upgrade. Even
Yep,
even I heard Eli Manning's name thrown around. He would have been an upgrade. Like
absolutely.
Trubisky is one of the worst quarterbacks statistically this year. Um, in fantasy, I think I think I heard this. I don't have this for sure, but I think he's like 50th ranked quarterback, like worse than 20 backups in in the
But
NFL, and they didn't do anything
he's better
about
than
it.
12. He's better than 12 backups. That's something,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's pretty good. But just you have maybe an all-time great defense there, and you're going to waste it by having just a terrible quarterback. I just don't understand that. You have offensive weapons that aren't being utilized,
Taylor
and
Gabriel's back.
yeah,
Running backs are good.
and I think Matt Nagy showed just the lack of faith that he has with their play calling in the last game, like not trying to get closer for that field goal that they missed at the end of the game there.
Yeah,
I think they just showed that they're not willing to let him throw the ball. They're worried about running the ball. He said they're worried about a fumble. Like I I just don't understand it. And there's probably options out there. Like I don't think New Orleans would have been asking too high of a price because I don't think they can afford to roster both Bridgewater and Breeze going forward.
exactly. And the New Orleans Saints roster is pretty good top to bottom, defense and offense. So they'd just be asking for draft picks, I think. And
Yeah.
that's worth it. That's worth it, I think.
Yeah. And how
I
much would have you had to pay for even like a Eli Manning?
exactly.
Like just to you, they'd probably just let you have him like for paying his salary. I don't know.
Probably at this point. He's probably a little less than a game manager at this point. But yes, he's a upgrade from Trubisky. I
Yeah.
can definitely attest to that. I think also the Philadelphia Eagles made a couple mistakes. You have an opportunity at AJ Green with their current core of receivers. They're kind of slow. They literally dropped the ball. Deshaun Jackson's still hurt. AJ Green would make any team better. They have a shot
Yeah.
at him. You pull that trigger. They also had a shot at a couple corners with their horrendous secondary. I don't understand why they don't pull a trigger, but as a Cowboys fan, I'm thrilled about it. So there's that.
I think also the Chiefs not trying to bolster up their defense too. Like I think their name was thrown around there with Jamal Adams as well.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think they dropped the ball there. I think they were even trying to get more offensive weapons. They were tied to Le'Veon Bell there for a couple.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
they've got a great offensive. Like it's not on that side of the ball that they need to bolster
that's
their
right.
roster. So I think they
When you
dropped the
look at
ball there as well.
when you look at the Chiefs, you don't fear their defense. That's
No.
the only thing that comes into question. They have a good coach, amazing offense. Their defense is the biggest question.
Yeah.
Well,
And
this is their time to make the moves.
that's been the
Yeah,
story for the last couple of years with the Chiefs too.
yeah, exactly. Couple of nice moves at the trade deadline. I love the pickup as we saw tonight, Emmanuel Sanders for the 49ers. I
Yeah, that's
had
a
that
sneaky pickup there.
sneaky pickup. He absolutely murdered it tonight too. Makes that pickup look great. Gives the 49ers that threat down the field too.
Yeah.
Any nice moves you want to mention?
Yeah. Obviously, when you get the best corner in the league, I think that stands to be a pretty good pickup with Jalen Ramsey to the Rams. I know
Yeah,
they had to pay a lot for him, but
paid a lot. Yeah.
I think
So why would
I
they get
think
rid of Marcus Peters?
Marcus Peters. I heard he just started to be a bit of a headache in the room, which has been the story for a while with him. So I think it makes sense that they got rid of him. He was a problem in the Chiefs dressing room after a while. They got sick of him and moved him. And then, yeah, he's played well for the Ravens so far, but let's just see where that goes.
Yeah, for sure. Of course, the Patriots, they do this every year. Get a bargain price for a solid player, the pickup of
Yeah,
Mohamed Sanu. That
yeah,
gives their
for what, a
receiving
second
core
round pick?
just,
Sure. Yeah,
yeah, it gives their receiving core just that consistency that he's got I think the best uh, catching rating of all receivers, his percentage wise, which is ridiculous. So him and Tom Brady are gonna have a heyday together.
yeah, yeah, and you get the benefit of playing with Tom Brady, who makes
Yeah,
bad receivers look really good. So
exactly. They're gonna be
yeah,
scary going forward, I think. No,
yeah,
I had questions about their offense. I don't anymore now.
yeah. I think their running backs are solid. They run three running backs out there most of the time,
Yeah,
and they're all really good. Julian Edelman is a beast.
yeah.
And yeah, I think Tom Brady, even though he's obviously in a decline, um, their offensive scheme, they just work around that and they'll roll with it.
The Cowboys pulled a Patriots like move with the Patriots with the seventh rounder for Michael Bennett, giving their defensive linemen a little bit stronger core. I think that was a good move that they made, even though they missed out on Jamal Adams, which I don't want to bring up anymore because I'm upset about it. All right, Drew, you ready for our next fun segment?
I am.
Is this segment is called "To Bench or Not to Bench"? That is the question, and it's great. We had a lot of our Instagram and Twitter followers add in some of their fantasy sports questions, and we're gonna go through a few of them. I'm gonna ask them out to Drew. Drew's gonna knock them out of the park for you guys. So if you're hopefully you'll listen to this podcast and get your lineup set for the week. Are you
Yeah,
ready,
but
Drew?
don't blame us if they're wrong, because we're not experts.
Well, we won't be wrong, so don't worry.
Okay. All right.
Okay, you ready? You
Yeah,
ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
We have an NFL question from Jason Burge. He knows Drew Brees has a bye this week, but going forward, he's got to roll with either Drew Brees or Russell Wilson. For the
Hmm.
most part, he wants you to give him an answer of which one to roll with. What do you think?
Oh, two two really good quarterbacks. Like that's a fantastic problem to have if you're choosing between those two. Um, I would probably go with Russell Wilson.
Okay.
I I think he's just amazing. He's another quarterback that just can take any receiver and make him great, and he's got good options now with Metcalf coming up and Lockett um, and you have the benefit of I know he doesn't run as much anymore, but you got the weapon of his legs as well, so you get a few more points for that. Breeze is a pocket guy.
He's
Um,
not running. He's not running.
he's not running anywhere, but you do have
But he's
the
got Michael Thomas.
Michael Thomas factor, Alvin Kamara, and but yeah, I'd stick with Russell Wilson. He's been one of the best. I think he's second rank second-ranked quarterback in fantasy so far this year behind Deshaun Watson, and I think he'll stay right there.
Yeah,
So
I'm with you on
I'd
that
stick with
too.
Russell Wilson.
I'm with you on that. Definitely have to go week by week, obviously, with matchups, but Russell Wilson for sure. He's my MVP right now going
Yeah.
forward. Okay, next question. It's an NHL question from Colin. He says he got to start 2 and bench 1. These are NHL goalies he has. The 3
Okay.
goalies are John Gibson, Ben Bishop, Robin Lehner. Start 2, bench 1.
Yeah, I think for sure I'm starting John Gibson. He's just been lights out so far this year. Um, Between Ben Bishop and Robin Lehner, like I'd probably go with Robin Lehner just because stick with the hot hand. I've never really trusted Ben Bishop. Don't really trust the Stars. Not that I really trust the Blackhawks either, but I'd go with John Gibson, Robin Lehner. Uh, yeah, I don't
Boom.
really have any more.
Another NHL question from Colin for his other league. He has the question is, does he keep Ilya Samsonov, the backup goaltender for Washington? Because when he's playing, he's unreal, but he's fighting Holtby for that starting job. Is it worth for him to keep him on his fantasy team, filling up a roster spot?
Um, yeah, I probably wouldn't. Braden Holtby, I know his stats aren't that great. Like he's got a 5-1-3 record. 88 save percentage isn't great. 3.55 goals against average isn't great. But once Holtby gets rolling, they'll stick with him. Uh, I think I think it's a great story to have a backup that comes in. It's great to have a backup you can rely on, but that's what he's going to be. It's just a backup. So yeah, I wouldn't maybe keep him, but I wouldn't be trusting him on a week to week basis.
There you go, Colin. All right, NFL now. Question from Mike. This is easy for this week, but I think he also means going forward. Tevin Coleman, Derrick Henry, 2 running backs. Which one does he roll with?
I think Derrick Henry. Tevin Coleman had a huge running day a week ago, but that's now with Matt Breida back and strong, and I think they split carries a lot in San Francisco. They don't rely on any one guy really. Derrick Henry is the workhorse there in Tennessee, and I think he'll continue to be that.
He's pretty consistent.
He's pretty
not great,
consistent.
but he's consistent.
And then he has those like those boom or bust games. I think the upside is bigger with Derrick Henry actually, even though we've seen the 3 touchdown game with Coleman. I don't think we'll see that again, and you might see it with Derrick Henry. I'd roll with Derrick Henry.
If you need a miracle, go with Tevin Coleman. But your consistent player is definitely Derrick Henry. I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Okay, another one, another NFL question. I couldn't pronounce this guy's name, but you'll know the the question is who to start, which quarterback? Did the Daniel Jones versus Jacoby Brissett, Giants and Indianapolis Colts, guys.
Daniel Jones or Jacoby Brissett. I think that's actually a tough one.
It's real tough. Daniel Jones last week was the hottest quarterback.
Yeah,
but then
because he's got all his weapons back, and I think Sterling Shepard's coming back this week too.
True.
Jacoby Brissett's been good. He's got T.Y. Hilton. He's always a beast. I think Daniel Jones. Because Saquon Barkley, they like to pass him out of the backfield. You got Evan Ingram, who's been one of the top tight ends in fantasy football, and you got Sterling Shepard coming back. I think I go with Daniel Jones.
Okay, there it is. Jump into the NBA. We got a question from Dave. NBA. So this is not. He was specific. This is not a categorical matchup. It's a weekly matchup. So all of the points that he gets, the only negatives he gets is from turnovers and missed field goals. So would you rather keep or rather have? I guess he has a trade opportunity between Lauri Markkanen or Kristaps Porzingis?
Yeah, I'll probably let you jump in and answer this after, but I'd probably go with Lauri Markkanen just because his usage rate would be higher. Kristaps is awesome, but between him and Doncic, I think you get a bit more of a split there. But I like Markkanen. Yeah, they're very similar players, to be honest. But yeah, I'd go with Markkanen.
You're going like I would go with Porzingis. Porzingis
Mm.
will give you those blocks on the defensive end.
Mm-hmm.
He's a beast, and he's only going to get better as barring injury. Markkanen, I think, has a better track record that way. But if Porzingis can stay healthy, I think he's the unicorn, man. He's gonna continually get better, and him and Luca, oh my goodness, they are a great duo.
Yeah,
The the game last night, they had 8 assists to each other each,
yeah.
which is
I
pretty
think
impressive.
I think we forget how good Porzingis is because he had the year off, but he's just a
Yeah,
crazy good player.
yeah. But like you said, both are good. You're not going to go wrong in any situation, I don't think.
No, they'll both be consistently good fantasy players.
So your fantasy advice is Drew's going with Lauri Markkanen and I'm going with Kristaps Porzingis. I don't know if that helps you.
No, that probably doesn't help you at all. I'd go with Dan's pick if I was. I'd listen to Dan over me on NBA advice though. So maybe go
All
with
right,
Porzingis.
there we go. All right, another NBA question from my boy Carrie. Carrie Hyde. He says, is Isaiah Thomas a good pickup on the fantasy waiver wire for the NBA?
Yeah, he's a boomer bust player for sure. Like if he's got a hot hand, he can drop you 30 points. But Washington's just so bad. Like I don't even trust anybody on that team outside of Bradley
Bradley
Beal.
Beal?
So
Okay, thank you.
outside of Bradley Beal, um, yeah, I wouldn't do it. You know, yeah, it depends on the makeup of your roster. Like if you have a guard spot that you can put in, I don't know. What do you think?
Okay, I think Isaiah Thomas is a nice pickup. Last game versus the Rockets, which was inflated because there was zero defense being played, where Harden dropped 59, and I think Bradley Beal dropped just under 50.
Yeah,
Um, Isaiah Thomas had 17 points, 10 assists. The game before that, I believe he had almost another double-double with assists. Looks like he has kind of turned the corner on just being a shooter.
yeah,
I don't know if that's for sure. I think he's a good pickup off the waiver wire. He had 16, 13, 16 3, and 5 against San Antonio 2 games ago. I like it, Kerry. Pick him up. If you need a guard, pick him up. He's pretty good.
all right, pick him up.
Back to NFL. Another question from Damon. Is it time to let Jameis Winston go?
Oh yes, Jameis Winston, just a turnover machine. I don't trust him. Uh, Along the same lines, Baker Mayfield, I'm almost done hoping. I've got him on one of my
Wait,
teams,
time out.
and
You're almost done with Baker Mayfield?
I'm almost done with Baker Mayfield. You just keep believing. Your number one overall pick is gonna do something good for you. This is my last week. I'm starting him this week against the Broncos, and I'm telling you, if he lays an egg, he's done. You can you can pick him up if you want next week.
Yeah, I think the Browns are a dumpster fire. Let him go. Let Winston go.
Yeah,
Pick up Minshew. Gardner
yeah,
Minshew is only owned in 60% of leagues. So
yeah.
pick him
Go
up.
get go get Gardner Minshew. Go get Daniel Jones.
Minshew Magic.
Way better picks.
What about Fitzmagic? I take Fitzmagic over
Hey,
those
I,
two.
I'd for sure take Fitzmagic. He's gonna get you those bombs down the field. He's
Devontae
not afraid to
Parker's a
take
good pick.
shots, but there's
Yeah,
the interception factor there too, though.
true. That's true. Okay, we got one more hockey question. I like this segment, Drew.
I
We
like
got
it.
one more hockey question for you. You're the hockey guy. Do you think this is from Gary Wilson? I know him
Yeah.
pretty well.
No, you don't.
Will Blake Wheeler turn it around this season? Tell me why. You mean that Stephen A. Smith?
Yeah, he's off to a slow start, but I think you got to believe that he's going to turn it around. He's just been so consistent in his career. But the thing about Blake Wheeler is he relies on his line mates. So I think his struggles, you got to look at his line mates for that. You see in his career, he's up there in assists most years, up in the top leaderboards of assists. So you got to look at Line, you got to look at Scheifele. But yeah, I think he'll for sure turn it around.
All right, there it is. There's our to bench or not to bench. We're going to continue that segment. You can always ask questions on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Yeah, keep asking us questions. That's great.
That's perfect. All right, Drew. I think that's it for today.
That's it.
Why don't you tell us a little bit what's going on? Yeah, it's good to be back. It's been way too long. Tell us a little bit what's going on with you, though, Drew.
Yeah, we've been. I actually just started my coaching career, if you want to call it that. Just started coaching midget AA hockey here in Selkirk. Looking forward to being able to have an influence on these teens' lives, and yeah, it's been fun so far. Been a learning curve for sure. Getting back into the hockey mode, but I've been loving it so far.
That's awesome, man. Very cool.
What's been going on with you?
With me, well, I'm continuing on with our Urban Hope mentorship program. We just started a second campus, and we were invited to run a youth program in the Wigwam and Aboriginal housing in our community. They gave us their amenity room in their main floor, which is like a big party room, basically. And we ran a youth group there this last Tuesday, had a bunch of pizza, played some video games, did a little teach time on a Bible lesson, and it was a great time. I honestly didn't expect any kids to show up. All I did was put up one poster, and I had no way to really meet any of the kids beforehand. But word got out somehow, and we had 9 kids show up, which was pretty cool. And they're fun kids, and it was fun to just hang out and build some relationships that way. So that's
awesome.
What's going on with me, man.
Well, that's it for us today. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Please tune in to us whenever we get out new episodes. They'll be coming at you, hopefully at a weekly basis. But keep communicating with us on social media. Keep interacting with us. Keep asking us what you want us to discuss. And but just remember, we're not experts, but we are the Sports Reverends.
That's beautiful, Drew. Don't forget, tag Craig Groeschel in our podcast, because we want Craig Groeschel to come out and have a podcast with us.
Shout him out.